Hey everyone, what up? So I'm gonna be talking about. I'm thinking about like the ways that you can fail and it can like push you further back in life, because I think that there's two types of failure, and I call them regular and extra. So regular is like where you try something, you fail, you go back to the drawing board or whatever. You go back to kind of where you started. But I think extra failure is when you try something, you fail, and you go back to further before than when you started. And I definitely have examples of this, to tell you all about, like, with what's just happened with my life, especially in the past 6 years, maybe more, because around about, I was pretty, like, well, I guess to a degree, like, I was doing stuff throughout my adult life, but it wasn't like, I wasn't getting any yield out of it. But then around about 2018, 2019, 2020, I started to really start to try to get good things in my life and try to improve things in my life. And yeah, there's been some extra failure with them. I feel like what happens is that you got to know, like, you hit a limit, and sometimes that limit is very short, like it happens very quickly. And it's kind of like you have a ceiling. But that ceiling is also not just like very narrow, very low, but it's also like bouncy. So if you like really go hard and you hit that ceiling, you'll bounce off it and go back, further than when you started from. I think a very clear example of this is with me and my exercise. Like, I've really only started exercising in the past, 6, 7 years. At the moment now, I just go for like mostly runs, just running around the block and everything, jogs or whatever. And at the moment now, it's starting to get pretty sunny. It's starting to get into the spring, actually get into spring weather, into like, that good old Australian summer weather where it's just intensely hot. And what seems to be happening now is that my when I sweat on my face, it's causing like this redness on my face, and like you can kind of see it here. Like I'm looking kind of on the camera, I'm looking kind of like very brown. Like it's not tanned. It's like it looks like white, and then it just suddenly goes like brown, and then kind of like red. I'll move in a little bit. Oh, disgusting. So it's like happening here, and then like over here. Yeah, you can kind of see it's like very kind of pink. It's like this. It looks like kind of a dermatitis. It's like rosacea. It may be, but like I kind of been running. Like I exercise to. There are multiple reasons, like, I sort of enjoy it, but I don't really get much out of it in terms of mood improvement. But, one reason is to kind of just lose weight and look better and, like, get out in the sun and get that, that vitamin D. That's kind of one of the aims that I'm going for, because, I really got to looks max as much as I can. But as you can see, like, I have a limit. And, if I'm just out there, like, exercising, hey, exercise is really great for you, but it's like it makes me sweat and it makes me break out in this like redness, and when I look in the mirror, it can get like much worse than this. And I just look and I go like, holy hell, it's like I'm getting like acne. It makes me feel like I'm a teenager and I'm going through like that whole thing. So it really makes me think that if I don't go outside and I don't exercise to make myself look better and get a bit skinnier, I'm better off that way in terms of like looking better, because if I stay at home and don't do anything, I will have less of the redness on my face. It will look better. So that's very strange, because everyone says like, oh, go out and get some sunlight and get fresh air and exercise, and it'll make you feel better. But when I get home and after I have my shower and everything, I look in the mirror, I see my face, and I definitely feel much worse. Another very clear example, also to do with exercising, is that I tried lifting. I tried lifting when I was about this is around about 2018, I guess, 2019. Like that's when I first started to lift, and I'm like, oh, I'll get some gains and get the women and blah blah blah, and also like makes you feel better and also boosts your testosterone, which can help with your mental health. So I started doing that, and like I got like not that far into it at all, and I started getting like this pain like in both my arms. It's mostly my left arm. And it's like, pain or like a discomfort. It just feels like very nervy, like there's just nervous tension, I guess, in the arm. It just feels like tingly. It's more like a tingly throughout the arm, and sometimes when I was doing those weights, it would I get like a shock of nerve pain from my arm, and I'd have to stop, put the weights down, and that's when I started getting the tingling, and that's something that it's really like persisted. It's gotten like kind of worse and worse, although maybe not worse since I've now known my limit and I know where like I'm hitting that limit, so I kind of don't push myself with when it comes to lifting or any kind of exercise to do with biceps. I guess recently I have been trying to do like a bit more of that kind of exercise, and I'm trying to keep it like, I'm trying to be careful with it, and I do want to build muscle in my biceps, and just generally become stronger as well, because I feel very weak with like lifting in general if I gotta lift for like work or whatever. But I actually feel like after all this, like I do feel weaker. I feel like, with the tingling in my arm, like as I've been doing recently with these exercising, it's kind of brought the tingling back, and it kind of messes up my arm, and I start to think like, I've really got a limit. Like it's a very, very short, a very low ceiling that I've hit, and I can't go beyond it. You got like gym bros saying like, yeah, man, got to get them gains. No pain, no gain, and like all this kind of thing. But I have a very, very, like, I hit the limit very quickly. Like barely anything. I've barely got any muscle on my arms, and I'm trying to work for it. To look better and to feel better and to be stronger and to up my testosterone. But it's just really hard because I just got this block right in the way. Another thing is like with the dating scene, like, look, when I date, like, go on a date with a woman, like it seems to go fine, but then she's like, I don't want to like see you again. Like, okay, it's disheartening, but it's not like a big extra fail. That's still like a regular fail to me. I'm like, well, whatever, screw you, bitch. I'll just go like, try again with like the next lady, even though it's very like, it just keeps going on and on like that. But I did have an incident where, I don't want to get into the details, but I went to like a singles mingle kind of like event. And I've been to a few of them before, and like they're kind of fine. But I went to one, and I kind of had like a physical health issue, and I would just say that I really badly humiliated myself. It was definitely, I would say, the most humiliating moment of my life. It was pretty intense. There was like some extremely intense, like emotional, like being distraught because of the humiliation, and also the physical pain as well was really intense, especially when I got home after it all. It was super painful. So yeah, just feeling like, I want to go out and like, try to like, get a date, get a loved one in my life with this event. It's not only like, I go home and I have no woman's number. Oh, well, fuck, that sucks. But whatever, I'll try again next time. It's like, I gotta be like fully humiliated in front of all these people, just, that was a bad memory. And there's a few other things that, like, I don't know, a little bit smaller, but they still feel like extra failures. Like, I feel like I'm overqualified when I send out, like, job applications. Like, I have a master's degree in filmmaking, like, who cares? But I sort of feel like I took that off my normal resume. Not the resume I send to film companies, but just my regular one for trying to get a job at a bottle shop. Like, that's just something that's, a bit of a hindrance, but at least I can sort of deal with that by just taking it off the resume and never mentioning it, I guess. Also feel like, with this whole getting a degree and getting my master's, it's like a useless degree, and it's also a useless debt. So I've got this, I don't know how much, 70K in debt, so that's no good. That's something that hopefully I don't have to deal with. Hopefully I get forgiven. And just like a few other things as well, like to do with jobs, like sometimes I get a job and I work for like 2 or 3 days and then I get fired. It's like, oh fuck, that sucks again. But like, I'm disheartened, but still, like, it's still regular. I can bounce back from that, sure. But there's just been times at work where it's like, they just try to, they fuck me over, they like make me get like a manager's card. Like I had to do that once, and then they're just like, you're fired. And it's like, oh fuck, what am I supposed to do with this manager's card? Like, I'll put it on your tax and whatever. So I guess I got the tax back from that, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I just wasted my money. I also haven't been paid for my super, my 401k, whatever you want to call it, from my last 2 jobs. So I just thought I'd bring that up because I'm just complaining about it. That fucking sucks. I got to deal with that shit now as well. Woo. So as I'm saying, like, I've had some some regular failures in life, like being fired when I got broken up with. I mean, as devastating as that was, and I just it really sort of spun me out. But it is something that, I don't know, makes me feel like, I don't know, more of a normie, I guess. Like, it's very, it's sort of the thing that happens to everyone, I guess, unless you only have, like, one girlfriend in your life or whatever. And even though it came, like, at such a late stage, like, in my life to be dealing with and everything, and it just seems so nightmarish, it's still something that, it still feels like just a regular failure. So with these kind of regular failures, I feel like, as bad as they can be, I can live with them. And I'm not, like, kind of spinning out of my head about them, like, even existentially. I'm just like, oh, well, whatever, that's a shitty thing. But when it's like, I'm really trying to go for something in life and trying to improve my situation, and I end up further back, it spins me out, I feel like I'm on the right path, but I'm going down the wrong way on that path, you know. I just feel like I might as well go down the wrong path in the right way, you know, like just start doing drugs and like, you know, really fucking with people and all this kind of thing, but just being like, well, I'm having fun, whatever, you know. I didn't spend that much time like getting fucked up in that sort of way. I spent the like time, money, and effort, and you know, it barely inched me forward at all. I didn't really get anything from it. I didn't really learn anything from it, and at worst, I'm actually further back than I was before. So I guess it just really pisses me off that it just seems like people, the likes of, I don't know, gym bros and like motivational people just say, you know, well, just go at it, you know, try to go out and improve your life and get the thing. And this isn't something that they fucking mention. They don't say like, this could fuck you in a bad way. They might say like, oh, you might like fail. Oh, well, you know, back to the drawing board, try again. There's that kind of thing. But they don't talk about like when you try and you fail and then you've known this kind of limit that you've hit, or like you end up with a health issue now. This is something that you now have to live with because you tried to improve your situation, or now you're extra fucked. So I just want to be the guy to be able to say that, like, you know, this is learn from my mistakes. I mean, there's much worse examples out there from all sorts of people. You know, there's like, you know, good Samaritans out there that like try to help other people and they get fucked over or killed, that sort of thing. There's lots of examples like that. So it's a shame that like life just isn't linear in that kind of way. It isn't like, look, you got to put in the effort and the time and maybe the money to like inch yourself up like a little bit further and further and further, and you just can go like this, like, you know, it's like a video game. Like you just, you know, you work hard at it, you get better and better, and you keep advancing like level after level after level, and you keep like going up, you know. But it doesn't work like that because you can get kind of stuck, you know. There's like, it feels like a glitch, really. There's a glitch and you go, oh, like back down to below tutorial level. So what I want to say is just like to learn from my mistake is just really don't push yourself, especially when it comes to just in the gym, you know. Don't push yourself, like this whole like no pain, no gain. Like you got to know your limits and you got to be careful. That's all I'm saying. You just got to be careful with how you go about things, and just it's hard to sort of see. It's hard to like you can't be really clairvoyant about what's going to be happening, but you got to be careful and really try to, like, as you're inching away up in life, just to have a think about things, and I don't know, just be very cautious and really just be careful.